As we predict the weekend's results in the Premier League, a big weekend in the Premier League to come. Me versus Ben. I've got Brian in the studio. He has not his predictions, but he can give his predictions along the way. But it's me versus Ben in Predict the Prem. At the moment, it's 41 to Ben, 36 to me. The scoring works, if you're new around here, it's 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. And the star man, once you pick that man, you cannot pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for assist. We start off at Brentford as they play Man United in the early kickoff on Saturday. I've gone for 2-2. Ben's gone for 1-1. What are you feeling, Brian, in this one?
It's a tough game, isn't it?
Brentford are home to Man United, who
got that win.
Got that win. Is it a turning point for them, though?
But you know what? Brentford have normally got Manchester United's number at home, but it is Thomas Frank.
Not Thomas Frank anymore, but they did draw to Chelsea.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Gat. I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford.
1-0 Brentford? You going for a Brentford win?
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford.
Yeah, I just feel Brentford have actually done fairly well so far under Keith Andrews. They can be proud of kind of how they started the season. I think, look, do they look as good as they did under Frank? Probably not. And they are probably going to be involved in a relegation battle. I think it's going to be tough for them. But I think a lot of them expected this season, with all the players they've let go and with the management they've let go, are they searched for the drop? They're just proving that they're still very competitive. They can still perform at this level. Have gotten quite a few decent results against. They obviously got a really good result against Chelsea at home last time out. Man United, for me, as much as they beat Chelsea, I'm still not convinced by them. And I think, obviously, they're going to try and win the game. They're going to go at Brentford. Yep. And Brentford showed against Chelsea, if you give them space and you're not that good defending, they can catch you out. And I expect Brentford to kind of give as good as they get, but still see Brentford quite weak defensively this season. I think only West Ham and Wolves have conceded more than them. So I think Mbeumo is going to come back to haunt them. I can see that happening.
Oh, God, yeah.
Cunha's back. So I think United will have the firepower to score. But I think Brentford are a smart enough team to find a couple of moments to score against them. So I've gone 2-2. But Ben went 1-1. He thinks it's going to be a bit of a tighter game. Next up, we got Chelsea versus Brighton. I've now gone for 1-1, and Ben has gone for 2-2. We've both gone for draws here. Brighton, obviously a tough team. Chelsea drew against Brentford last time and also lost to Man United. So not great last couple of games for them. I haven't been that impressed with them at the start of the season, Chelsea, albeit they are 6th in the league. But obviously that Fulham game got very lucky with a dodgy VAR decision. It could have changed the game. I feel Brighton are quite a smart team, and I feel it's going to be very tough for Chelsea in this one. And then Chelsea, they don't look so sharp at the moment. Palmer, I think, is out. I don't think.
Oh, really?
Did I read he's out for 6 weeks? I don't know if I was real. Let me see. Palmer. Did I read he's injured for a while? That might have been a fake. Maybe it was a fake thing I saw. But anyway, he went off last game. Maresca's not under pressure, but they're not playing that well at the moment. Chelsea, I feel. So I think Brighton are going to go there, make things difficult for Chelsea, and come away with a draw.
Well, you look at it, as you said, Chelsea are a team that aren't playing well, and they're not really getting the results, are they? Compared to us. So you look at it, I'm going to go for a Brighton upset here.
Brighton win?
I'm going to go for a Brighton win. I don't think Chelsea are firing all cylinders. I'm going to go for an entertaining 3-2.
What do you want? 3-2 to Brighton?
Yeah.
What do you think of what Carragher said? Chelsea have spent all this money and they've ended up with the squad they have is unacceptable. Like, you look at their team, Sanchez in goal is ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
They've got a centre-back pairing with Chalobah and Tosin. They've spent $1 billion. How is that their defence?
So true. It's so true. I mean, you look at it, and Sanchez, the Chelsea fans have said, is a big problem. He can make exquisite saves, but he can make absolutely massive howlers. You would have thought they would have addressed the goalkeeper. And especially the centre-back areas. You think about the great Chelsea teams we've grown up with. They have had solid centre-backs. Obviously, John Terry being at the heartbeat of most of them. For them to have that pairing isn't exactly the strongest that says we spent £1 billion, does it?
No. I think for me, I look at Chelsea's squad and I just, I don't think it's like... I think they've got a lot of talent, don't get me wrong, but they got Champions League last season. You expect them to kick on, and they're just signing lots of younger players. No one with that real experience. And the problem what I think I have with Chelsea's model is they don't really give young players time, but they only sign young players, and young players need time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they expect every young player to be Cole Palmer and just to be amazing instantly.
Yep.
And if you're not, you're out the door. But that's no way to... If you're going through the model of we're only going to buy these young players who are 21 or 20 and we're going to fill up the squad with these young players, but if they're not good within the first year, we're going to sell them and replace them with another 20-year-old, then you're just going to perpetually be in that cycle. I
Correct.
feel, unless you can't be patient with one set of players and just allow them to grow. And you see Madueke moving; he's doing well already. Like they're shipping out a lot of players who they could have used.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we've tried, or fortunately for us Spurs fans, that's what Chelsea do now. They just throw money at everything, don't they? And it's going to come back and haunt them at some point. You can't keep doing this over and over again. Obviously, with Abramovich, they were bringing in real quality, weren't they? Mm-hmm. And they were bringing in the odd youngster here and there that went on to do well. It's madness at Chelsea. I'm sure they will click at some point, but it's not looking the best for them right now, is it?
No. Next up, Palace 0, Liverpool 1 at Selhurst Park. This is a massive game because, first of all, Palace are unbeaten in 17 matches. Incredible.
It's insane, isn't it?
Incredible run of results for them. So it's not going to be an easy game for Liverpool. Liverpool, on this incredible run themselves of, I think, 7 games in a row, they've scored a winner in like 5 minutes to go or less. Mm-hmm. So they're on some crazy run. This is a massive game potentially in the title race because Arsenal go to Newcastle later in the weekend. So if Liverpool get a win, they go 8 points clear of Arsenal at this stage. With Arsenal to go to Newcastle, no guarantee they win that game. All of a sudden, there's a big gap opening already after 6 games, which could be very significant. But no guarantee Liverpool win this game. I think, but for me, the reason I've gone for Liverpool is I look at Palace's firepower, and I know they're playing very well. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want to take anything away from them. But they've only scored. Look, they've scored 6 goals. I mean, they're not like scoring lots of goals at the moment. And I look at the firepower with Eze missing. I don't know. Like usually when they play the bigger teams and they get wins, it's the likes of Eze picking up moments of magic, or Lise, who when he used to play for them. They don't have those players anymore. They're now relying on pretty much Mateta to do a lot of it by himself. They got this new guy, Jeremy Pino, but he's getting used to the Premier League at the moment. I just feel like it's going to be a very tight game. Palace are not going to give much away, but I feel like as well, I don't know if they're going to have the quality to get one in against Liverpool. And I feel like Liverpool are just going to get a lucky break again. I reckon it's going to be another late 1-0 win. You
say that. I do go for Liverpool win, but I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. And the only reason is Liverpool haven't been able to keep a clean sheet.
That's fair.
They just can't. Unless Crystal Palace at Palace, Mateta is a nuisance. He is a powerful player. If we had signed him in the summer, I'd have loved it. I think he's a really, really good player. A lethal finisher. I can't see Liverpool's first clean sheet coming in this game. So I agree it'll be a late winner again, but 2-1 to Liverpool.
Leeds versus Bournemouth. Me and Ben again, same result. We've gone 2-1 to Bournemouth. And yeah, I think this is should be a pretty well. Look, Leeds have actually done quite well, to be fair. 7 points in 5 games, 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 defeats, and look quite defensively solid. Apart from the fight, look, they've conceded 7 goals this season, but 5 of them in 1 game to Arsenal. So they're not easy to play against. But Bournemouth have been really impressive for me at the start of the season, and I think the firepower they have. I think they go to Leeds and win.
I think that Leeds performance against Wolves will give them a lot of confidence, and at home they are a tough team to get a result. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2, but if there was to be a winner, I would edge it with you and say you and Ben and say Bournemouth. Bournemouth.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, Bournemouth, how they keep losing players doesn't affect them. They just keep going from strength to strength. Fair play to him. Next up, Ange's first home game in charge at Nottingham Forest. I've gone 3-2 to Forest. Ben's gone 2-2. So he's gone for Forest again to drop points, and Ange's first win to be delayed again. I've gone for 3-2. I think Ange, look, I know they haven't won yet. I've actually seen a lot of their games, and if you break it down, Arsenal, they lost 3-0. That was his first game, expected. Swansea, they were 2-0 up and cruising, and they somehow conceded 2 in stoppage time and threw that away, but they should have really won that. Burnley away, they dominated, and Dubravka had a brilliant game, ended up drawing 1-1. And then on midweek yesterday against Betis, I looked at the stats, and it looks like they were absolutely dominant in that game and conceding another late goal. Now, to be fair, it does sound a lot like what I was saying at Tottenham, playing well, not getting the result. So maybe that might happen here. But I think first home game, playing attacking football, I think they're going to have a go at Sunderland. They're going to re-go at Sunderland. And I think they're creating a lot of chances. And I can see them scoring goals here. But Sunderland have started, they're in confident mood themselves. They've got good players.
Yep.
So I see Sunderland getting a couple of goals, but I think Forest are going to nick it, 3-2.
I'm going to go with Ben. But I will say I've seen a lot of Forest fans on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and others saying that in the first half, Forest have looked unplayable, like what we saw in the first 10 games. And then in the second half, he's made a couple of changes and the drop in quality and style, and then that's allowed the other team to come back in. Sunderland have come up and they have been no mugs. So I reckon it's going to be exactly what you said again. Some great football played by them, but just not enough to get the job done. So I'm going for a 2-2.
2-2, 5 winless games you're going for. Do you reckon he goes 10 winless? Complete opposite of what he did at Spurs.
Who knows? Who knows? Thank God we're not in that 10. We play him in December, don't we? December 13th, so we won't be in that first 10. But he'll get a win sooner or later. I just don't think it'll be this weekend.
All right, Man City against Burnley at the Etihad. I've gone 3-0. Ben's gone 2-0. I think it should be a fairly comfortable win for Man City. I know they've had their struggles this season. Obviously, a minute away of beating Arsenal on the weekend, but Martinelli's last-minute equaliser preventing that. Burnley have actually improved a bit of late. Obviously, a good draw against Forest on the weekend. But other than that, they beat Sunderland 1-0, but have lost the other 3. Obviously, a solid defensive team, but I can't look past the firepower City have, and I just think they're going to be too good.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1 up on your result and go 4-0.
4-0.
I'm going 4-0. Man City at home, it's going to be a different animal. They seem to have settled down a bit, Manchester City. Now, obviously, they switched off in the closing minutes of the Arsenal game. But yeah, a comfortable, very comfortable Manchester City win.
Spurs versus Wolves. Also, we'll preview this game tomorrow, but we both gone 2-0, same result again. I actually I can see, because Wolves are obviously winless. Sorry, they haven't got a point yet, pointless so far in this season. So obviously every game is a big game for them now. But I think they're going to make things difficult. Obviously, it's the first time I believe we're coming up against a back 5 or back 3 this season against opposition. So I think it's going to be a difficult game for Spurs. I don't see it being a game where we're just creating loads of chances, but we've already shown a propensity of, maybe having a bit of a struggle within the game, but getting the job done, whether through a set piece, finding moments. So I see it being another stodgy performance, but I see it being a 2-0 win.
I see the result being 2-0, but I don't see it being a stodgy performance. I see people like Kudus, who definitely needed a rest for all the work he does defensively and going forward, will have his rest and be revitalised. There's been some key rotation. I see a 2-0 win, and I see us play more like we did against Brighton in the second half than a stodgy performance.
Next up, Villa against Fulham, finished 1-1. Sorry, not finished. We predict 1-1. Villa, man, in the relegation zone at the moment.
Yep.
Is this the beginning of the end for Unai Emery? At the moment, it's not a happy camp over there.
No.
Didn't have a good summer. Only scored 1 goal this season. And I've gone for, only another goal. Fulham, no, they're no mugs. They're a tricky team to play against at the best of times. I don't think Fulham are going to be good enough to win. But I can see them going to Villa Park, getting a goal and being good enough to shut up shop and get a draw. So I've gone for 1-1, but Villa to continue their winless start.
Yep, I'm going to go for a hat-trick of results with you and Ben on this one. I can't see Villa in real problems. And they had such a good season last season. Played some great football. Yes, they've got rid of some players. But like you said, is this the beginning of the end for Emery?
Is there any fit at all they could be embroiled in a relegation battle?
Well, put it this way, I wouldn't have thought Aston Villa would have been. But last season, I wouldn't have said we would have been, or getting close to that zone, sir.
But they're currently 18th.
Yeah, it's too early to say, but I can't see them being in that relegation struggle for much longer, or in that position for much longer.
You know, statistically as well, Villa had the easiest start of the season out of anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're looking at in terms of league position from last season and stuff and who they played in the first 5 games.
Wow. So
that is, you know, and they didn't score, they only scored 1 goal and they didn't win any games.
I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. They went 4 games without scoring a single goal.
And also, there's a big thing, like, they were 1-0 up against 10 men last week against Sunderland and still couldn't hang on.
It's insane,
and still drew. So, like, things that Unai Emery usually
is brilliant
at managing games, and they're just not doing it at the moment. Yeah, Fulham have been decent so far. Only lost 1 game, so they're not going to be easy to beat for Villa. So I've gone 1-1.
Agreed.
St James's Park here. Newcastle play Arsenal at St James's Park in a big game. I've gone 1-1. Ben's gone 0-0 here. Now, if we are right, that means the gap will be 7 points after 6 games. For you, how significant is a points gap that large, even after 6 games, if it is that?
I don't think it's so early to say, but I don't think a team's been like that in recent history, have they? Where teams like ran away straight away and put a 6-point lead ahead.
Last season was fairly similar, wasn't it?
I
think Liverpool, I can't remember, they opened up an 8-point gap like quite early.
Was it this early?
Not this early, but it was fairly early.
Yeah, I mean, with all the money that Liverpool spent, it'll be exactly what Liverpool fans want to see. I'm actually, do you know what? Arsenal haven't done well there recently either. Remember when they had to win there when we got Champions League with Conte?
Yeah.
To take it to the last day of the season. I want to say Newcastle win. But no, do you know what? I'm going to go same result, but I'm going to go 1 goal up, 2-2.
2-2. You think it's going to be high scoring?
It could be that. This game actually has some spice to it normally.
So after 11 games, Liverpool are 9 points clear. So now after 5, I mean, it could be 8 if Arsenal obviously lose this game.
Yep.
For me, it's hard to claw that back, even if it's early on. You're giving your title rival an 8-point pretty much head start, which would be incredible, to be honest. So Arsenal, it's a massive game for them, I think. Massive game. They need to win this game if they're really going to lay down serious title credentials. I know Liverpool are not playing that well, but they're winning. They're winning, and it stands to reason they will probably start playing well at some point. Arsenal, on the other hand, they can't keep dropping points.
Nope, they cannot. They cannot. Well, they can for us.
I hope
they can for us. There's a long way that continue, but you're right. In the scheme of the Premier League, they can't let Liverpool get too far ahead of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive game in the kind of shape-up of the Premier League. And look, St James's Park, Arsenal don't have a good recent record there. They've lost, I think, their last couple of games there. Although no Isaac, but I don't know, I just got a feeling Newcastle are going to have a bit too much for them on the weekend.
Or are you thinking of changing now?
No, I think a bit too much for them to not win. I mean,
Okay.
1-1. I think 1-1. I think Arsenal, they're a strong team, but it's going to be very interesting how they approach it, because they've gotten a lot of criticism for going for 3 defensive mids.
Yep.
But I kind of feel like in this game they might have to, but will he bow to the pressure of the talk on the media, and then not do that, and then get bullied? You know what I mean? Because that midfield three of Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and Tonali is one of the best in the league.
Yep.
So you're going to need to match that, I feel. And I actually think if you're one of the games you need to maybe match that intensity as this game. So it's going to be interesting, the dynamics of how he goes for it.
It's always an exciting game to watch, isn't it, as a neutral? And I look forward to watching it.
And last game of the weekend, Everton against West Ham at the new Everton Stadium. We've both gone for 2-0. I feel Everton are playing well at the moment. They're looking good under David Moyes. He's got them playing well. West Ham, just they're at shambles. Apparently, rumours at the moment that Potter could well be on his way out of the door. They're already apparently eyeing up replacements. Apparently, Nuno Espirito Santo lined up. I could think this could be one of his final games, to be honest. I don't see them going to Everton and getting anything, so I've gone 2-0.
I'm completely with you in bed on this. I actually think Everton have been playing really, really well and playing some good football. And I think at the new stadium, with things looking good at Everton at the moment, I could see nothing but Everton win, and I would say by that scoreline.
All right, and the star men, I've gone Richarlison, Spurs at home to Wolves. I've gone Rishi, he's going to start. We don't have another striker, do we? And I'm going to back him.
Solanke?
Well, I don't think he's going to be fit for the weekend. He might be, but I think Rishi's going to start.
Yeah.
And I'm going to back him to continue his goal-scoring form this season. Ben's going for Ilman Ndiaye.
He's a top player.
Who's done very well so far this season, been getting goals and at home to West Ham on Monday night. So that's Ben's pick for Everton. But that is it for Predict the Prem. Let me know in the comment section below your predictions and what you think of our predictions, what you think of our reasoning behind it as well.